An opportunity I was offered at work was given to my male coworker behind my back. What should I do? I've been with my company, working on a specific account, for over 2 years. For the past year, I've been leading a small team of myself and one other employee working on said account. We had a third team member, but they didn't work out, so I've been doing the work of 2 people while also supervising my coworker. Recently, we learned that our company would no longer be handling this account. My boss took me aside a couple weeks ago and told me verbatim that since this account was going away, he was giving me the choice to choose between 2 other accounts to work on because I am the senior employee. And he appreciates all the hard work I put in over the past year, so he wants to give me the first choice. It's important to mention that one of the accounts he was letting me choose to work on is our company's largest business. So it's a big opportunity that would include some fun travel. He told me to take a spring break to think about it and let him know when I return which one I'd like to work on. Obviously, I knew I was going to choose the larger account because I had previous experience working on it and I wanted the opportunity to advance. Today I get into the office and I meet with my boss to give him my decision, and before I could speak, he informed me that he had given the large account to my male coworker, and that he was giving me the leftover account to work on. He also informed me that my male coworker would be traveling to cover an event that I had previously talked about attending. I was given no reason, and my boss acted like everything was good, almost like he was delivering me happy news. I was so shocked that I just froze and didn't push back. Now, I am pretty self-aware and am always working on improving. I am the first to admit that I did something wrong that warrants losing this opportunity. However, the more I think about it, the more confused I am. I led my team through a really hard time, and we did so well. I've never missed a deadline. I worked so hard. My boss even gave me an award a few months ago. I also know it's not about my work because he recently presented something I did to the whole company because he liked it so much. My male coworker is a really nice guy, but he does the bare minimum and needs a lot of handholding. When I asked him for help in the past, he needed so much handholding that I basically ended up doing the work I asked him to help me with. Last week, when I was out on vacation, he texted me every day, asking me to send him files or ask questions he could have figured out on his own. I have stepped up 1,000,000 times to help take on last-minute projects because he gets easily stressed and cannot multitask. So I'm not using this as an excuse to blame me for being a bad worker on gender inequality. This is really the first time this has happened to me, and it stinks. It feels out of my control. It just doesn't add up at all. How do I address this going forward? I doubt my boss would give me an honest answer if I asked him about it. Yet, this is souring me big time about the company. I feel very used. ETA, I am a mother and can't attend all the after-work social hours, while my male coworker does. My boss and coworker are also buddies and have hung out outside of work. Also, I have to work from home occasionally because I'm a mom and my kid gets sick. He's a single dude with no kids, so he's in the office rain or shine. Is that it? Is it me? Update. I just met with my boss and wanted to provide an update on how the situation was handled and what was said. I approached the conversation by reminding him of the meeting we had prior to my vacation, where he offered me the choice between 2 accounts and told me to take my week off to think about it, which we would discuss when I returned. I expressed to him that I was caught off guard when I returned to find out that the larger account that I was offered was given to a coworker, who is technically underneath me in seniority. I told him I was just trying to gain clarity on the situation and understand why that choice was made so I could in good faith move forward and not harbor any uncomfortable feelings or feel like I had done something to warrant this opportunity being taken away from me essentially. Right away, he acted like he never remembered the conversation ever happening. I had a strong feeling he would try and say he didn't remember, but I did not back down and insisted that it indeed happened. I am no liar. He knows that. He then acted like giving the account to CW wasn't that big of a deal, and he claims the reason he gave CW the brand was because my CW was chosen to travel to the big event in May attached to this account. I asked him why CW was chosen for that opportunity. He got really flustered when I asked this. He fumbled his words and finally said, well, because CW has experience covering live events. This is a ridiculous excuse. First and foremost, I also have experience covering live events. In fact, I have more experience than CW when it comes to this area. After he said it, he immediately regretted it because I was deadpan. He then says, do you also have experience with live events? He knows the answer, unless he's just ignored every conversation I have ever had with him. Even if he didn't remember, he could deduce this from my work history that was in my resume. But alas, I have talked about said experience 1,000,000 times. He knows, but pretends he doesn't. So I just responded to his question with, yes, I have extensive experience. He replied, well, I didn't know that. He did know it. But let's just play the devil's advocate and pretend that he really does have amnesia and can't remember. Why would he not ask around if anyone else has experience? It just feels like such a stupid answer. I asked him if CW wanted this brand. He said CW never asked for it, but was excited when he was offered the travel opportunity, so that's what made him excited too about having the account. So my CW doesn't even care to have the account, he just wants to travel. Either way, I was given a load of word salad in an attempt to placate me and keep me on the team. He kept telling me how amazing of an employee I am, and how much he appreciates all of my hard work, and he reiterated over and over that I have done absolutely nothing wrong in the time I have been here. I asked about the social aspect and reiterated to him that it can be hard for me, and he again insisted that the company cares more about the work you create than the social stuff. After I left the meeting, I learned that all of the men on our overall team were going to the event. I'm not pointing this out to imply sexism. Heaven forbid a woman does that and she gets harassed by a bunch of dudes on here. I'm pointing it out because my boss is one of 3 men on the team. So it's obvious that this all boils down to him preferring to travel with another guy. I get it. I'm not trying to travel with a bunch of dudes either, but the fact that he thought that it would be okay to remove an entire account he promised me solely because he prefers to travel with other men is a joke. Also, about 20 minutes after our meeting, I walked in on CW, and my boss was having a private conversation in the hallway that seemed to end when I walked out. Maybe I'm being paranoid, but what would you all think of that? If you can't tell by the tone I am writing this update with, I am done. Sure, his response went better than it could have, but it made me realize that I am not valued or even considered by this company at all. They have used me to handle an extremely difficult account, which has bled me dry. And now that said account no longer needs our help, they seem to no longer need mine either. Going forward, I will no longer be assisting my male coworker, and am currently looking for new opportunities in a place that will appreciate my work ethic and my talents. I also know I made a lot of mistakes throughout this whole process, and have learned a hard lesson. However, I will say that these games in corporate are not okay or fair to everyone. It's sad to think how many of these companies lose out on hard work, loyal employees because they can't participate in silly little social games. I'm going to try and not let the rest of my day be ruined by anger, but it's going to be difficult. Wish me luck, and thanks for all the helpful advice I received on here. I don't know how else to proceed from here other than just pound the pavement looking for jobs until I find something new and can get out of here. In the meantime, I will be doing the bare minimum and nothing more. Relevant comments. Holiday Doc 1995. Do you have any updates? OOP replied. Ish. My boss knows I'm mad and is trying to placate me by now offering a different account that currently belongs to another coworker. I suspect the other coworker has no idea said brand is being offered to someone else, and I know for a fact they would be very upset to find out. I'm trying to get out as fast as I can. Boss got himself into a big pickle and is trying to dig his way out. I think he knows he crossed a line because I've really just been doing the bare minimum, and nothing more. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoy listening to these kinds of stories, we've got more in store for you. Simply subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and share it with your friends.